motherfuckers know who this is. Y'all motherfuckers know who this is. Y'all motherfuckers know. Y'all motherfuckers know who this is. Y'all motherfuckers know. I'm known for running my mouth. I will not be accountable for what comes out. I don't know, I might have said it. I was kinda gone and light-headed. My jacket kinda fresh, bright red. As usual, my pants tight, threaded. It seemed like everybody dressed tight now, and I just want my credit. Don't get it twisted or dreaded. I am the king and will not be headed to the morgue no time soon, brethren. Being broke made my head hurt, so I need the bread or an Excedrin. That I only get my engine revving. When y'all on 10, I'm on 11. I'ma make the news be on it, said it. Matter of fact, I'm on this very second. I'm in first and y'all in second. And his verse only add to the freshest. Call to the club, tell them add to the guest list. What you think? Way more bitches. I can never be too big for my britches. Y'all motherfuckers know who this is. I'm gifted. Merry Christmas. Y'all motherfuckers know who this is. Y'all motherfuckers know. Y'all motherfuckers know who this is. Against the test of time. 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 Against the test of
Don, Gafar,
Never too early for a great party, man.
never.
Bar, bro. I like your style, man.
Yeah, man. I was on a call with a girl a while ago. The girl said, please, can I come back? I just gotta go join this group call. Please.
Appreciate your commitment.
Yeah, but the thing, she's gonna be here in about 10 minutes, man. I told her she's gotta come join this. If she's learning from me with crypto, she gotta join this. So she's gonna be here.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's
How's
Kyle
everyone?
Cruz, too.
Hey, good morning.
Man, I'm excited. I don't know about you guys, but
I'm very excited as well.
Excited. We're the first.
Not sure.
That was a technical glitch.
Technical
hey, I'll
glitch.
take the blame for it.
All right, Kyle.
That's what a good soldier does, right?
Yasmin, hello. Don, welcome back.
Yeah, sorry about that little technical difficulty at this time. Hello, Yasmin. How are you?
Kirk, welcome in.
Yep, Kirk.
Hello.
How are you?
You guys get a chance to read the Blackpaper?
Good. And what's up, KP, and what's up, Gaff? Gaff is all over the place.
Yeah, I'm here, Kirk. I'm here with you guys.
Let's go ahead and give everyone a few more minutes to pop in here, and we'll go ahead and get kicked off.
Do we got live background music or lounge music?
Wait.
Oh man, that's a great idea.
Tell me if this works.
Bit finesse.
Good evening, guys. How are y'all doing?
Doing well, thank you. How are you?
Pretty good. Driving across the country. Enjoying the best time to be in crypto. It's awesome.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah, thanks for popping in, Bit Finesse. I think you'll be real excited about this project. We're excited to have you here listening in. And KG is going to drop some facts that we're all going to be excited about.
Thanks for the invite. Glad to be here. I'll be listening.
Don, are we recording this session?
We are, and I'm actually going to make a little announcement before we get started that the session will be recorded, so if anyone has any direct objection to that, to please let me know.
Oh, and you can say it periodically throughout your discussion. Just remind people.
Sure, of course. Anthony, welcome in.
How y'all doing tonight?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Good, good.
Yeah, just to fill some dead space while people are coming in, we were talking in another chat about the latest inflation rate being like almost 9%, which is crazy. If you're out there grinding and living paycheck to paycheck, how do you beat a 9% inflation rate that just got dropped on us today, yesterday, whatever the case may be? That's difficult to do, man, especially even if you're out there making like $20 an hour. It's hard to outpace that. And products like, Hex and what we're doing in this ecosystem is really, the only way to like outpace that. And it's just an amazing, crazy thing that's going on. And being in this ecosystem now at this time that we're in, I don't want to say we're lucky because we found this, we prepared for it, we took the sacrifices and the energy to make it happen. But, we are in the right place at the right time.
I absolutely agree. And crypto as a whole, we as individuals are in on the space so early. I mean, yeah, you can say, oh, it's been around for 10-ish years, but it's still a baby industry. And we are still the pioneers. Yeah, absolutely. And we'll give it just a few more minutes here, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
So excited. I can't even wait to get started.
All right. Well, for those who are here, before I just get started talking, Did anyone read the black paper and have any specific questions?
No, so I was excited about reading it earlier, right? And then I said, no. Let's hear the discussion first, then go look in the document and make sure that I pinpoint certain things. As you talk along, there's some questions I had before that I'll just ask openly. But I was so excited, and then when I opened the document, I said, no, don't read it yet. Let's hear what KG and the team has to say first, then you go read it. So yeah, it's like a Steve Jobs presentation. I want to see that iPhone moment, iPhone 3G moment, when it just happens before reading the manual on it. You know, here we go.
I like that. I like that. You want the keynote presentation.
Sir. Yes, sir. Here we go.
Okay. Well, I will go ahead and get started. We have some exciting things coming to internet money and the Pulse Chain ecosystem. And for those who do not know, our mission, our modus operandi, is to onboard new users into crypto through Pulse Chain. Everyone on the team is a big Pulse Chain community member, and we all believe in Pulse Chain through and through. So our mission is to bring in new money and new users into the ecosystem. That is our target market. That is who we are extending our technology towards. Don, Kyle, do you want to add anything to the mission statement?
No, I mean that's it through and through, and I think that the product that we have is it's simple, yet it touches on every point that we need to touch on, and it allows. Okay, look, maybe 1 out of 10 are just gonna. You'll go into this further, KG, but 1 out of 10 may just get the free drop and move on with their lives. But we want to get those users in there that get that crypto bug. Like we're all in here right now because we have that bug, that desire inside of us that we love this space, and we want those people to come in through the Pulse Chain to dive into the ecosystem and use all those wonderful projects that are on this chain, like Hedron that we were just talking about, like Liquid Loans and Pulseverse and all these other things that are going on. We want them to dive in through a very simple product like internet money and the Pulse Chain on the fastest network that you all know and love.
Yes, because go ahead, Kyle. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to say, I mean, that's basically it. The biggest issue in crypto overall, when you look at everything from the outside, is onboarding. It's getting people into the space. It's getting them to want to stay in the space, and it's also hoping that they don't get hurt. Hoping that they don't get all their money just taken by some scam coins. So basically being able to introduce that idea and that realization onto the Pulse Chain, that once you meet Richard Hart, once you hear him talk, this guy knows what he's talking about. So, you can feel comfortable by doing it on the Pulse Chain. But yeah, no, that in short, that's it. Just getting new people on board, KG?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So let's go ahead and jump into the new tokenomics that we are bringing to the crypto space. To my knowledge, we are the only token that is using this method, and we believe that it is a great method for a couple things, and primarily community engagement or continued community engagement, and you could call it gives game theory for your entry-level crypto user extended all the way to your advanced crypto user. So it has game theory for everybody, but the game theory itself isn't enough to overwhelm most new people. And this revolutionary idea is called the vote to burn. Now, I'll start dropping some numbers. If the numbers get a little too much, feel free to stop me. Feel free to ask me any questions that you may have. Welcome, everyone who's just joining us. We are just getting into the game theory aspect of this. And it's actually pretty cool. I have a physical copy of the Blackpaper, a real life NFT in my hands. I love it. Nice, thick, clean paper. So we're going to do what's called a vote to burn. And a big thing we're aiming to accomplish with the vote to burn is we want to rival inflation. And we are going to rival inflation with deflation. Like Don said in the beginning of this chat, 9% inflation this year. The dirty fiat gets less and less valuable every second of every day. We want to do the opposite of that. And our contract is simple. There are no admin keys, no taxes, no inflation. There's no mechanics like that in our contract at all. So what we're going to do is every user that is an IM holder, not every user, you have to hold at least $42 value of IM in your wallet. And every user that holds at least $42 will be able to vote whether or not a burn ensues that quarter, because we have a quarterly burn. Now, the burn rate is every 1 IM purchased, 0.1 IM gets burnt. If the community votes no burn, quarter 2, the rate increases to 1 IM purchased equals 0.35 IM burned. And then it increases again to 0.65, and then finally maxing out at quarter 4 at a 1 IM purchased equals 1 IM burned. And the burn happens in quarter 4. And this is beautiful because it keeps the community engaged on a quarterly basis. We can see a future where there are teams, team no burn, team burn, people centering the game theory around what would happen if we burned this much, all the possibilities that exist around that. And also, it puts a buy pressure on internet money, because what forces the burn count to go up is people buying. So before I go further with any more information, that's the intro to the vote to burn. If anyone has any questions, hit me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just thinking about the last part of the statement where he said, what causes the buy pressure to go up? It's people buying IM token. And essentially what that does, it allows, because you have a larger set of addresses that are owning or holding on to IM tokens, essentially those holders above that $42 margin gets to be an active part of the voting pool, like similar to the mempool for Bitcoin. So that's kind of cool. Why am I getting a phone call? Sorry about that, guys. One second.
Yeah, and just to kind of pick up what Gafar was saying was those holders that are holding, they're going to want to delay the burn for the 1-to-1 ratio. And at the time where it is a 1-to-1 burn, the people that are holding larger bags, they're going to benefit the most, because on a 1-to-1 burn, it's, it can, like, think about this right now on the BSC chain with little marketing, we're burning 6 trillion tokens before Pulse Chain launch. Because right now, whatever you're buying, we have a 1 to 2 burn right now. Whatever you buy on BSC, it's going to burn 2 on the Pulse Chain. That's happening right now. If you look at the website, iamcrypto.net, that's I am, not IAM, crypto.net, you can see the actual live count. So we're at over 6 trillion getting ready to be burnt. So if those tokenomics continue, those that are holding the token, again, the early crypto adopters like yourselves here in this room, they're going to benefit greatly by holding on for that year, burning 1 to 1. Now, I said in the beginning, not everybody's going to be into the tokenomics, but it is like the gateway drug, so to speak, of tokenomics to get them into the Pulse Chain. We get 1 out of 10, 1 out of 50, whatever the case may be, people that get into the tokenomics of things. They catch that bug. They start to get into projects like Hex and Hedron and all these other great projects on the Pulse Chain.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, me personally, I look at it as kind of the most simplistic way to get people involved, the most simplistic way to get the community involved. At the end of the day, when you burning tokens is obviously nothing new, but when you look at the other coins out there that are burning tokens, they do it one of 2 ways. One way, they'll burn in transactions. So each transaction will go to some random wallet. Sometimes it's a burn wallet, sometimes it's a buyback wallet where they say they're buying back and they don't buy back. And then the other way is that they just burn once before the coin even releases. And that's just a way to hide the whales, essentially. So the interesting thing about this is that we're doing it over a span of time. The community are going to be the ones to vote, and it's just going out from one wallet into another, just out of circulation. So it's just a way to keep people involved, I think, and definitely a way to show that we're not trying to hide anything. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just fun. That's it. It's fun, and there's a lot of game theory behind it, and I'm interested to see what people come up with, really.
And to add to Kyle's point and to clarify, the burn tokens come from the Vault wallet. We did not say to that point. Aber, welcome back, bro.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good,
Thanks.
man. Yeah.
I didn't have much time and I didn't hear anything, so I just had to exit for a minute.
You're all good, bro. It's recorded.
So I honestly haven't looked into it at all. Give me the skinny, like a 2-minute pitch.
2-minute pitch. Okay. Our mission is to onboard new users into crypto through the Pulse Chain. And it's actually the perfect time you asked for the pitch, because we just talked about our revolutionary vote to burn, which I'm not going to go through all those details again. We can talk one-on-one about those. But the way that we're going to accomplish all this onboarding is through our technology. And the technology we're going to have is a mobile application for iOS and Android, as well as a matching website. So our website and our application are going to serve as a native Pulse Chain wallet. So you're going to be able to hold all your PRC20s in there. You're going to be able to swap through PulseX through there. You're not going to have to go to MetaMask, get the RPC settings. You're not going to have to do all that confusing things. For us in the crypto space, us big brains, we've been there, we've done that. But for the new crypto user, the person we're targeting, we are going to make it as simple and seamless as possible. And we're also going to entice people to download our app, because why the Internet Money app versus another Pulse Chain wallet or MetaMask? We're going to give every user who downloads the app 2 free cryptos. They're going to get free Pulse and free IM, so that they, within 5 minutes of safely storing their seed phrase, on an app, which everyone who has a smartphone is comfortable downloading an app and knows how to do that. They're going to have internet money, the peer-to-peer digital cash of Pulse Chain, and they're going to have Pulse, the gas, to be able to transact from the get-go. And to further our technology and our simplistic experience, we're going to have a fiat on-ramp into Pulse and internet money, as well as I said, the wallet that's natively connected to Pulse Chain.
Sounds good. So you actually have a use for the token.
We do, and our contract is simple: no admin keys, no taxes, and we're deflationary.
So you're pretty much using the token as a freebie, and then it's just deflationary upon that, right? Just to get people on to, it's just a freebie when everybody joins the wallet. Is there any other means of distribution besides free on and then buying it on the market?
That's it.
Okay.
Or you guess, buying it on the market, getting the freebie drop. But ideally, so yes, the token is used as a freebie to get people on the wallet, and then by extension of that, getting people into Pulse Chain. And using that, the long-term vision for internet money itself, peer-to-peer digital cash. Let's use it to pay each other in the crypto space. It's internet money.
So the fiat on-ramp you're talking about is something like Ramp or something like that has somewhat limitations on fiat in, or are you going deeper than that so that people can get on whatever they'd like?
So that's a great question, and our developer, Victor, we're still exploring the best option, but right now we're leaning towards Dharma, integrating with Dharma.io.
Is that Victor with a K?
Victor with the K. And for those that don't know Victor, you may know him as the guy who built PulseChain.com, Hex.com. He built the current internet money website, PulseX.com. He is one of Richard Hart's developers, and he is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and Abra, a big part of this too, there's always going to be different levels of users into this. And the people that we're targeting, the normal people that aren't even into crypto yet, they're going to have a big use case out there, and just internet money. It just makes sense. Like Richard says it all the time, our fake made up internet money is better than the government's fake made up internet money. And when people just get a hold of this, they have it in their wallets and they can trade it within each other. It not only does it do, not only does it onboard people into crypto, but every time they're transacting, every time we drop it into wallet, Pulse is getting burnt, right? And again, at the root of all this, we're all about the Pulse chain, supporting the Pulse chain. So we can continue to come up with mechanisms to continue to burn Pulse over time. Let these guys trade around. Hey, you drop them 100,000, $1 million, whatever, internet money, and they keep on trading it within each other, with each other. All this Pulse is just going to get burnt that we're dropping in there. So it's just a beautiful, beautiful mechanic that adds to the ecosystem. And then one out of every, 30, 40 users, they get that crypto bug and they jump in and they start to use great projects like, Liquid Loans, like Hedron, like Pulseverse, all these other great protocols being built on top of the Pulse chain. We want to get these people in, and we want to get them to their native chain. Like my native chain when I joined was Ethereum. All my shit's on Ethereum. I don't want to jump onto Solana and have to mess with that, or Cardano and have to mess with that, because I was just stuck on Ethereum. It's just easy. I got shit to do in my life. I can't mess around with doing all this research. But then Pulse Chain came along. Now, same thing. If we get all these people into Pulse Chain, most of them are not going to want to leave the Pulse Chain. And that's the main root of what we're doing.
Yeah, that's cool. So when, what's the timeline looking like for anything? When's the next stage? Do we know by chance? Or when do you expect? Shouldn't say give you a date, but just when are you expecting to have something that's tangible?
Well, we're already launched on BSC. And so we have a token that is tangible currently. And we're doing a one-to-one airdrop from BSC to Pulse Chain. As far as the app and the further website improvements and everything like that, Victor quoted us at a timeline of the app is going to take a month to build. The website should take a couple weeks. So we are also working through our funding phase as well. And if anyone's interested, we do have investor packages.
Okay. Sounds good. We need a wallet, right?
Yes, and it's should be a very beautiful thing.
Are you going to have the ability to switch networks? Are you going to have multiple EVMs?
We are actually
going to have Pulse and BSC?
We're actually still discussing that. We're leaning towards obviously having the option, but we're weighing out. We're leaning towards having the option because for someone that wants to use that option, why not have it? Basically make it MetaMask, but instead of connecting to Ethereum first, it connects to Pulse Chain first.
Yeah, I know a lot of these EVMs have bridges available too, which are quite simple, which you maybe even be able to take advantage of to get liquidity back and forth from one chain to another. I imagine they'll be linked with Pulse eventually. So it would be an onboarding. It would be an easier onboard for people to do it that way if it's all encompassed in one thing for sure. So it's just a question, not a request. But
yeah,
but I know currently moving back and forth between different chains that I'm doing now, it would just be easy if I have an app that I'm able to at least move the stuff. It doesn't necessarily need to. Well, I guess you have to have it on there. What will you do with it? Yeah, I don't know. Even hardware support, that's another thing you might want to think about. I know that's not the easiest thing to do, but it might be something you'd be able to work with too. Hardware wallet.
Yeah, bro. I mean, you bring up some great points, and a big part of what we're doing is also supporting the ecosystem. So, I mean, as you know, there's a lot of different projects being built on the Pulse chain. I mean, bridges are coming out. Besides the Pulse X, other DEXs are coming out. All kinds of great stuff are coming out. So we're going to vet, pick, and choose the best protocols to work with and integrate into what we're doing. But us as a unit, our main focus is to grab those new users in and just filter them into the system. Like we're just going to kind of, you kind of look at a whale in the ocean when he opens his mouth and just tries to grab all that krill. That's what we're doing. We're going to be that big whale in the ocean, just grabbing all that krill and bringing it in. And then the internals of the Pulse chain, the liquid loans of the Pulse chain, the hedrons of the Pulse chain, they're going to digest all that krill and do what it's supposed to do. So we're going to integrate everything, but our goal, our mission, our focus is to get all that krill into the mouth of the whale.
Yeah, I get it.
My favorite part of the wallet is probably that you're going to be able to see your balance too. Any MetaMask users out there might understand that one.
I don't know. What's the deficit? I'm not understanding. What do you mean? What's the deficit here? What balance are you speaking of that nobody can see?
Oh, so it's kind of a Richard Hart joke, but he was talking about MetaMask the other day. And he said, yeah, because he was talking about how there's really no good wallets out there. He brought up MetaMask. He says that's maybe the best one, but the fact you can't see your balance, it kind of defeats the purpose. So on MetaMask, like online all the time, it just doesn't show you it'll show you like your ETH balance and that's it. But you're holding all of this. And it doesn't add them all up for whatever reason.
Oh, yeah. I get what you're saying.
But supposedly that's really not that hard to fix. So be a good wallet. That's what we want to focus on, definitely.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
EVMs help with that, then that's good. If they don't, it's all about the user experience as well, and just kind of developing the technology over time.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'm
Sounds
looking
good.
at it wrong, but I can't tell like what my cost average is. Like what's my average price that I paid for something?
Exactly. Like why is this
it's
stuff so hard to
mind-boggling to me where I can't see that?
Well, FTX has it, but it's fucked up all the time.
Yeah.
It used to be Blockfolio, but they've never fixed it. It doesn't work right. Cost basis stuff doesn't work right. I put in so many tickets for them, I never get it fixed. So it has to be messed up for everybody. So I don't know why they would never fix something like that, but yeah. Even your cost basis, even when they have it for every asset, it's wrong, which is sad.
Yeah, doesn't Ledger Wallet doesn't Ledger Live have balances showing for assets?
Yeah, Ledger Live does. Yeah, Ledger Live does. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
If it knows how to pull that asset information, but yeah, for the most part, it does.
And Abra, I want to offer something too, with you being a liquid loans guy that you might appreciate. So part of our liquidity pool, a portion of it is going to go to Pulse, and the other portion of it's going to go to USDL. So we're going to have a USDL liquidity pool for IM.
Cool.
That'll be
good.
Yeah, we are trying to support the Pulse chain ecosystem in every possible way we can with this. We're all day one Pulse sacrificers. We believe in Pulse chain, and we want to do our part in true Hexakin, Pulsican fashion. We see a void. We are doing our part to fill that void.
Other than, well, I'll just leave it at that. I'll say something to you separately. I mean, there's other wallets that are aiming to do the same thing.
To do what exactly?
Well, I'm just saying targeting the Pulse community.
Well, we're not necessarily targeting the Pulse community. We're targeting people who are not in crypto and bringing them into the Pulse community.
Yeah. I get it.
So
yeah, and even if there is, which is great, I fucking love it. I'm glad to hear that that's happening. Hey man, we're putting up a Burger King on this block. You can put a McDonald's up on that block. Great.
Yeah.
Let's all eat burgers, right?
Yeah,
At the end of the day, we all got Pulse bags. We got Pulse X bags. Let's pump those bags, and this is how we do it.
Yeah. If you can move faster and integrate things differently than others, then that's what matters in the end too.
So just about who does it best, quality over anything, I think.
Well, it's definitely quality, but also some have different visions than others, and they target different things.
Yeah.
So some may target integrations with different stuff, and some may not. Right.
Yeah.
So.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, there's different takes on everything. I don't know if you guys looked into Monarch at all, but they've been very successful in what they do. I know that Hex had an airdrop on there back in the day, and but they've been very successful. So it may be something you might want to look at to see kind of where they kind of derive some of their audience from, and maybe gain some insight on that kind of stuff.
Appreciate the tip.
Yeah, rest assured, brother, there will be no stone that is left unturned.
So let's bring it back to, or open up the floor. Does anyone have any questions regarding anything we've covered already? The buy and burn, the vote to burn, the technology we're bringing in. Does anyone have any questions?
What's the vote to burn?
The vote to burn. Okay. So the vote to burn is our revolutionary game theory. If you hold a USD balance of $42 in IM, you are eligible to participate in the quarterly vote to burn. And what that is for every, and it starts out, it's the rate at which the IM gets burned is exponential. It starts out at a rate of 1 IM purchased equals 0.1 IM burned. And if the community votes to not burn in quarter one, that IM purchase balance still stacks up. Then it becomes 1 IM purchased equals 0.35 IM burned. And then if the community votes no burn, it becomes 0.65. And if the community votes no burn again, it maxes out at 1 IM bought equals 1 IM burned. And the burn automatically happens in the fourth quarter. And that burn comes from the Vault wallet.
The Vault wallet as in liquidity, or just liquidity that's sitting in a vault?
So,
as in, let me word it differently. Are you talking about something that's on, say, a pair somewhere, or is this something that's just locked up?
So our Vault wallet is the wallet that controls a majority of the supply. On Pulse Chain, it'll land around 90% of the supply, and we will burn from that wallet to a burn address. So currently, we're doing our first burn, the transition from BSC to Pulse Chain, and we're burning at a rate of 1 IM purchased equals on BSC equals 2 IM burned on Pulse Chain. We're already up to 6.3 trillion. We have a live counter on the website that shows that. So then we'll have live counters on the site and the app too to show the new burn balances. And basically, we're using it as a way to keep the community engaged and to give a token that's very simple game theory to keep new users and expert users engaged.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. You know, again, a lot of crypto is game theory. You know, a lot of the things that we do, you know, like the liquid. When I was reading the white paper for liquid loans, it actually made my head explode and my brains were on the back of my wall. It's pretty mind blowing stuff. The newbie is not really ready for that just yet. But we want to be able to pull people in with just the knowledge of hey, there is game theory in all of this stuff. And those that really appreciate and understand what game theory is and what they learn it to be, this is a very simplistic game theory to really grasp a hold of. And then they get hooked. And then they want to dive deeper and deeper and deeper into the system. And then we want to bring those people in because there's a lot of brilliant minds out there, a lot of brilliant minds that just haven't taken that step into crypto yet. So we want to get everybody and their grandmother into crypto, but we also want those bigger minds in here in this space too, and their first native chain to be Pulse Chain. And this game theory, as simple as it is to guys like me and you, but it opens up the door to what game theory actually is.
How does this game theory actually affect the balance or the airdrop that I got in my wallet on Binance Chain?
Your airdrop is unaffected. Can you mute your mic real quick? I'm getting some feedback. Sorry, bud. Your airdrop is unaffected. The burn comes from the Vault wallet. So in theory, as the Vault wallet diminishes, your ratio of holdings to the existing supply gets bigger over time. And we've also discussed doing some, and we don't have the mechanics of this finalized, but we've also discussed doing some buyback events from the Vault wallet and putting those in to the tokens that get burned.
Okay, I understand you. Thank you.
Great question. Thank you for asking it. Does anyone else have any questions?
No, I think we went through some good questions here, but probably want to move to the next set of topics that you guys have to talk about, because I think we only got to do the introduction so far.
Well, the beauty of it is we have run through the weeds of it. That's the simple and palatable part of the project.
You know, I'm on that Monarch website right now, and I'm clicking over half their buttons and nothing works. Nothing, it doesn't go anywhere, nothing's happening. And that's a lot of things people kind of overlook. You know, when we have the guy who developed Pulse Chain, Hex.com, and so on, develop our site works perfectly. You know, like Richard even talks about it all the time. And no downtime, none of this, none of that, like just clean, concise. If it works, keep it. If it doesn't, get rid of it, you know? So that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited just to be the best at something in the industry. And I think that's going to be our wallet, honestly. Our wallet and our website.
I agree, Kyle. Good point, man. It's our wallet and our website are going to be clean, functional, approachable.
And easy, man. Just straight up easy.
Easy. And also, when you do get a chance to read the black paper, if you haven't yet, the team has given them we've given bios about ourselves. So the community has a face and names to the product. We're not just a random shitcoin on BSC. I doxed myself in the black paper. So we are presenting ourselves as professional and approachable.
Where are we at now, price-wise, by the way? Check.
Price is up to 7 zeros and a 3-2. And we just went up again. We're up 40% on the day.
Nice. 40% on the day, peoples. Let's go.
And I do want to reiterate, we do have investor packages available that have some really cool mechanics too. And if you're interested in that, hit me up with a DM.
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, I'm looking at it now. I mean, I would definitely recommend everyone just read the black paper, because there's a lot of work put into it, and there's a lot of fine detail in there, and especially in the roadmap. The roadmap is a great breakdown of everything, like every step that we're going to be taking moving forward. Very concise. So, KG, I don't know if you want to wrap it up or what you want to do, but I'll leave it up to you.
Well, we have basically at this point talked about the entire product. I'm hoping that there are some questions out there.
Yeah, I see a couple people that just want to shout out. I see Hexy Pulse Rica. How you doing tonight? And Radical Rose. What's going on? Thank you for joining us tonight.
Hello. Thanks for having us, guys.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's nice to have you guys around. Nice shout out, Don. And just a quick one, shout out to all my Jamaican brothers and sisters in the group right now. They showed up.
Appreciate the support.
Yeah, Gafar, you got to be careful, man, because I tell you what, when this stuff hits, we're coming to see you, man, and we're gonna hang out and we're gonna have some fun, and you're gonna have to host a whole lot of people out there in Jamaica, man.
No problem with that, brother. When you guys get here, remember when Pulse Chain gets to 1,000x its value, there's already gonna be the big main party in Jamaica. So can't wait to see y'all, man.
Yeah, man.
I knew somebody was gonna hit me with that.
I had to, man. Questions, comments, concerns, don't be shy.
Yeah, I'm curious too. Even if you don't have questions, I'm curious to hear some feedback on how do you guys feel about the vote to burn, guys and gals? How do you feel about the vote to burn? How do you feel about the app? How do you feel about what we're bringing to the table?
Yeah, I'll be first to talk on that one. While everybody else figure out their questions. Right now, as you said, right on the there's going to be a 2x burn on the post chain side and all that, but I like the fact that it keeps the community interacting and it gives each member of the community purpose. It also enables that there's constant traction on this voting protocol, and the frequency of it that happens every quarter, as you said, is actually very essential. It gives people control, some level of control over the abilities of the smart contracts, and how is it that we all benefit from it. But I also like the increased pressure on the portion that gets burned after every quarter. Should it be that there's no burning in the previous quarter? I like that approach to it. The 0. I think you said 0.35 after every one that's purchased in Q2, and it just trickles upward from there. That's kind of interesting. Never seen an approach before, so looking forward to seeing how that works out. There's something. I don't know why I feel it's something similar, probably because I fooled around with the Cosmos network a little bit, but there's a lot of voting that happens quite often, and sometimes over there kind of gets a lot, but the quarterly voting option seems a lot more manageable, seems like something that people naturally do with their finances. That's kind of cool. I like that approach.
Thanks for the feedback, Afar.
Yeah. Imagine people like just getting a tap on your phone, like just a little reminder. Hey, the burn voting just opened. The polls just opened. All you gotta do is decide, do I want, okay, is it more beneficial to burn this quarter or wait? And then that's where the real big decision comes in. And especially as we're putting out new features and we're just gaining traction, people are gonna say, hey, no, don't do it. Not this quarter. Why would you do that? Look at all this stuff on the roadmap, everything they got coming up, So that's where the game theory really comes in, and it's not bothersome. It's not you're not voting on 100 different things where you're scrolling down the whole web page and it takes you forever. It's going to be something simple, quick, but something that keeps you very engaged. At least that's the hope.
Right, and it could be the quite opposite too. Like you could also have people that are like they bought IM and they're just looking for the quick gains and like, yeah, go ahead, burn that stuff because I plan on selling next month, man. Go ahead and burn it. So there might be, there's going to be teams, team burn and team don't burn.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I had two questions. You had mentioned an app for crypto newbies to host and interact with IM. But what about those who are holding IM in MetaMask presently? Do we have to move from MetaMask, or do we have an alternative to interact with the voting outside of downloading another app to interact with IM?
Great question, Winston. If I may answer it, KG, you mind, or you want to answer it?
I'll take the answer because I actually have the answer.
Sorry.
Not that you. Sorry, Don. So I didn't mean it that way.
Now we're like pouncing on top. Yeah, I got it. Now go ahead. You go ahead, man.
Basically, thank you. Basically, you'll have a wallet connect option on the website. So if you don't want to use the native app, you can just connect to the website.
Oh, okay. Great. Next
and
question.
As well, if I could just chime in, I think, Winston, that once you see our wallet and as it develops, you'll say goodbye to MetaMask altogether. and you'd rather just use that. You know, you'd rather just use our wallet. Again, you know, that's the hope.
Will it support other ERC20 tokens or?
Well, so that's what we were discussing earlier. So we're trying to figure out kind of the most efficient way and the clean, basically we want to make sure it's a clean product first and then bring on new stuff, you know, and then you start filling it up. But of course, me personally, I'm not developing the wallet, so I don't know the ins and outs. But I can tell you that the guys that we are getting to develop the wallet are absolutely amazing.
Okay. All right. So that kind of leads me to the second question, which has to do with roadmap and utility of IM. Who can I trade this with now for goods and services? And is there any other utility to holding EM other than depending on other people who would want to trade it with me in exchange for goods and services? Like, what does that roadmap for IM look like from a utility standpoint?
I hear you. That's a great question. So if you check out the Blackpaper in phase 3, that's when we plan to really extend out our partnerships and focus our marketing effort and dollars creating new partnerships and new relationships. One integration that we're really eyeing, are you familiar with Flexa?
I'm not, but if you give me a brief description, I can create an analogy in my own mind.
I understand. I love Flexa. It is a crypto project that's backed by the AMP token, the ERC20, and their technology integrates with existing point of sale systems in restaurants, bars, coffee shops, stores, you name it. And they accept crypto. And they accept various cryptos, and they're able to process the transactions instantly because they have the AMP token backing their system. I have, with the team, has visions and will work towards partnerships with Flexa on a local level, you know, doing local marketing events. Just like Hex does, just like the Hex community does, reaching out to their local communities and getting their local shop owners and retail stores to accept this token, the peer-to-peer digital cash on the Premier blockchain. So we, in phase 3, ultimately, that was a long-winded way to say in phase 3, once our technology is built, that's when we're going to focus on building those partnerships.
Okay. Yeah, and Winston, in the meantime, I work for an HVAC company. I sell heating and cooling, furnaces, air conditioning, things like that. My boss is also a crypto junkie like we are. And he is willing to start taking crypto as payments for your furnace and HVAC install, and internet money being one of those cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Hex, internet money, and when Pulse comes out, Pulse and PulseX. Those are going to be his forms of payments, along with Visa, MasterCard. And some of these tickets are like $10,000, $15,000 a piece. So, again, all of us that are here in this room and involved in this project early, because don't forget, us being the early adopters, we're the guys that are going to be holding these tokens, and guys and gals, excuse me, as the product adapts to the world that we live in, we're going to have those big chunky bags, right? And especially if we hodl and there's burns, those bags just get bigger and they increase. And if we all do our part and get our local vendors around us to start taking this form of hey, it's internet money. Oh, what's internet money? It's money on the internet. It's like, you know, it just makes sense. And it's better than the fake made-up government money that just inflated at 9% this year and made our quote-unquote dollars or fiat less valuable. We lost 9% this year on our fiat. We don't want to lose 9% every year. We can't withstand that. We need a better way. Internet money is the better way.
Don, if you don't mind elaborating a little bit more on that 9%, the information that you found out, because that's quite interesting on the dollar value right now with what's going on.
Yeah. So, it was funny. I went to go purchase some firewood from a neighbor, and he actually told me about it. I didn't do my own research, so I shouldn't, really dive in deep. But he did his own research. I know this guy, and I trust him. He's one of the best. The new rates that just came out was 8.64%. That was the inflation rate for this upcoming year for the U.S. dollar. Inflation, 8.64%. I'm just rounding it up to 9 because there's costs of in and out of money, credit card costs, fees. So
very true.
8.64%.
Right, I heard the report as well. I can confirm.
Yeah, see, there you go. So that's a big number, man. And if you're making like $15, $20 an hour out there grinding, hustling every day, just working for a living, and you just lost 8.64% on your $10 an hour. I mean, $12. I mean, it's madness. How can you survive? There needs to be a better way.
Okay.
Internet money is it. This is it. The whole ecosystem, the Pulse chain, the Hex. Like for me, Hex is like Social Security. Hex is a much better Social Security than Social Security is, right? It's the same concept, but Hex has a mechanic in it that actually works. The government's Social Security system mechanics just don't work because there's inflation. I call it legal counterfeiting. That's exactly what they're doing. They're just counterfeiting the U.S. dollar and calling it, quote unquote, inflation. Yeah, sorry for the tangent. Apologize for going off.
No, this
no
is
worries.
it.
Hey, you know what? I'll throw in there real quick. What crypto out there is really accepted, in stores and Amazon, they don't even accept crypto yet, and I think the another form where we come back to onboarding, at the end of the day, there's just not enough people out there who either A, trust crypto, or B, have the tech knowledge to, like, you shouldn't have to be tech savvy to get into this space anymore. It's, even though it seems short, it's only been, 12 years or so that crypto's been around. Everyone can say it's a short period, but not really. Like, that's a long time. And the fact that it seems like we're regressing in a sense. Like, sure, the tech and the transaction speeds and everything along those lines is getting better, but it doesn't matter if nobody's using it, if nobody's taking it. What's the point of having a faster transaction, So overall scope is, get more people involved. And then that's where we hit the bell curve, and we're on the top then. And then they basically have to work around what we want to do, because more people want to use crypto than they do the U.S. dollar. Even though that will be a long ways away, but still.
We're basically already in a crypto society. I mean, if anyone has, I know we're from all over the world here, but if anybody has a debit card, in a sense, that's already crypto. It's ones and zeros on a digital ledger controlled by an institution. It's just centralized inflating crypto with admin keys, the ultimate admin keys.
Yeah. You're 100% right. 100% right, KJ.
And you go and you try to cash in on your fiat. I have heard horror stories of people having to wait for days. They have to order their money in advance to be able to pull their cash out.
Yep.
That's another beauty of the internet money chat, is we can go off into these poli-sci discussions and talk about finances and talk about money on the internet and crypto and everything that revolves this space. We don't have to stick to just the token because it's more diverse than that.
And it's just a better way to do things. It's just easier. It makes sense. It's cleaner. It's trustless. I love a trustless system. You know, Hex pays trustless inflation just based on the things that you put in place. It just operates. It just does what it does. It's a smart contract. It knows the parameters and just makes it work. It's trustless. And you do what you're supposed to do, and things happen the way you think they're going to happen, which is an amazing thing. Because it's, you know, within the fiat world, that doesn't exist. Things are, you know, confusing. They change all the time, too. So, again, beautiful thing about internet money, it's no admin keys. It is what it is. It stays the same. The mechanics are built in. It does what it's supposed to do.
Anthony, I heard you try to jump on a little bit ago. Did you have a question or something you wanted to say?
I was just gonna say, who else is doing a quarterly vote to burn? I mean, anywhere in the crypto space.
I don't know of the. Agreed. I don't know of the project. If there is another project.
Yeah, I feel like
I've done a lot of searching. I couldn't find any.
Right. So I'd say that definitely adds value to it.
I'm glad you think so.
I'd agree.
Another question for the community. What do y'all think about the first, and from what I can tell, only Blackpaper in crypto?
As somebody who identifies as a black member of a black culture, I'm going to reserve my comments.
I love it.
All right,
it's just so much cooler. It's just so much cleaner, crisper. It just looks so much better. It is. It's a black paper. It's just much better. It's just better. Better than a white paper.
So here's the funny thing, right? I remember a couple years ago, a project came out and they had on their website you could switch between a dark mood and a native light mood, and it would switch the color of the paper. So I kind of had it in the back of my head that the day when I release my project, I'm gonna have a black paper, and then I saw you post it. That's why we were laughing about it in the group a couple hours ago.
Oh, beat you to the punch.
It's so much better though.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
Yeah, I bet you your black paper is going to be better than our black paper. So when you release your black paper, I can't wait to see your black paper.
Let's see how it works out in the future, man. Well, hopefully we all will be around. You know, hopefully.
Yeah, you're there every time I look.
Agreed. Yeah, and it's cool too.
Don says I've been cloning myself in every group. It's true.
Yeah, how? How do you do it?
There's 12 Gafars out there.
Another thing I like about the black paper too is in finance, black denotes positive growth. So even down to the color of our paper, this internet money is money.
Up and to the right, man.
Up and to the right.
Yeah, man. Yep. And the quarterly burn, like Anthony was talking about, is huge, man. There's so much. It's so huge on so many levels.
All right.
And they're gonna have to just putting it out there in the ether of things. They're gonna have to make another version of Mission Impossible to save the last movie that came out the other day. So when that one's coming out, I know the director of that project loves using, like, you know, next level technologies and feature some stuff. We should get internet money in that project from now.
Yeah, that's a great call. If someone could do that, that'd be incredible.
All right, everybody. Well, are there any more questions that y'all have for the team? I think if there's we'll take any final questions, comments. Otherwise, I will work towards wrapping things up.
Hey, man, just want to say thank you, everyone here tonight, for listening, considering, thinking, being. Appreciate everything. We're so excited about the future to come. And, you know, just want to say, again, see you all soon, and thank you.
Yeah, Dan,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome. Thank you to you guys too.
Thanks, guys.
Don, I'm going to second that. I truly appreciate everyone's time, and we appreciate the opportunity. We're very passionate about this, and I hope that comes through. So thank you all.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Definitely enjoy seeing everyone around and, you know, building this community together. So we do appreciate you.
Hey guys, you guys take care. I'm gonna go officially read the document now.
Go read it.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and if you come
Feel free to reach it. Yeah, feel free to reach out to any one of us with any questions you have. We're here to answer all your questions.
All right, man. No problem. Night, everybody on the call.
All right, man. Good night. See y'all later.
Peace.
Hey, and Serpentine, I just saw you jump on, man. Or man or woman. How you doing? I was a little abrasive. I get it. Oh, good. All right. Oh, dropped it in the chat. Serpentine is typing. Sorry, I have no mic. No worries. You caught us at the tail end, so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Make sure you read that black paper. I'm glad you liked the idea. Appreciate that.
Yeah, you know, I'm looking at a counter of an hour and 7 minutes worth of audio with, you know, some big ideas and some bright minds. And, you know, we'll release that on YouTube.
Yeah, good call. This will be on YouTube, so feel free to listen to it. It'll be in podcast form, or, you know, kind of, because there's obviously no video. And let us know if you have any questions.
Yeah, Gafar, I'm looking forward to seeing what you think, man. I'm looking forward to elevating on your ideas, man. You're one of the brightest minds that I've seen in this crypto space, and I really enjoy your thoughts and your views and your opinions. And I can't wait to meet you in Jamaica one day, brother.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get into it, man. You'll have my thoughts by Sunday, the latest. I'm gonna go and flesh some stuff out, ask some tough questions, make some critical points. I'm no forensic analyst, but I'll definitely look into it and see how best I can support the project in any way I can. So you can look out for that.
Love what I'm hearing. Really appreciate that. I can't wait to see what you think.
All right, sir. No problem. All right, guys. I'm gonna jump off.
Yeah.
Go do my group classes now.
Later, man.
I'm out too. All right. I'll see y'all soon. Peace.
See y'all soon. Thanks for being here.